Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Nerd Central. I'm your host, Mary Grace Rice, and today we have a full show for you guys. We have another installment of Mighty Morphin Madness, and also, to get you ready for Valentine's Day, we have the top 5 films to not watch on Valentine's Day, and a showdown to see what the best love story in film is. Let's start this show with some TV news. Attention Game of Thrones fans, over break it was announced that the final 6 episodes of the show would not air until 2019. We now might have a better idea when in 2019 it will premiere. When speaking with the UK Metro, Maisie Williams, Arya Stark on the show said the show would air in April of that year. She went on to say that the production schedule will stretch into December of this year, contrary to the expected midsummer end date given prior. It was reported that each of the 6 episodes in the season will be around an hour and a half in length, giving them more of a film feeling than a TV show feeling. No word yet from HBO if Williams' comments are true, but when HBO makes an announcement regarding the premiere of Game of Thrones, we will make sure to let you all know as well. Now let's take it to the next installment of Animate, where they discuss all things animated.
Hi, my name is Eli and welcome to Animate. This week, Molly is joining me. Thanks, you're a princess.
I know.
So Molly and I are going to be talking about not the best, but our favorite sidekicks. So Molly, is your favorite sidekick strong and powerful?
I wouldn't say that because they are a fish.
Okay,
Yes.
Go on, I'm intrigued.
So, my favorite sidekick has got to be Dory because Dory is super small and adorable, and even though she doesn't know, she has memory loss, but that doesn't keep her back from doing what she wants to do, which is finding Marlin's son. And she will put all of her effort into finding Marlin's son, and it's so adorable because half the time she doesn't even know what she's talking about. But she knows to go on the right track and find Marlin's son, and that's all you need in a sidekick, is someone, even if they have a disability, that they will be by you the entire time.
I mean, I guess that's a good quality to look for, but mine is all powerful. He is a mighty god. And you'd think there's no way a mighty god could be a sidekick until you look at Hercules. And my favorite sidekick is none other than Hades. And it's only for about 2 reasons. He's petty, and there's so much sass, and I just relate so hard to it.
So you could say you are Hades.
I am Hades. I am amazing, I am perfect, and I have so much sass to give, and I need 2 minions to follow me around so I can just give them all my sass.
But the thing with Hades, he's not very loyal. How is he a good sidekick? Other than the pettiness and the sassiness.
See, thing is, Hades isn't necessarily a sidekick. He's more of a side character.
But you see, Eli, this week we are talking about best sidekick, and you just blew it out of proportion with best side character.
Here's the thing. I'm the producer of this segment. I get to say what I want. You, however, have to follow the topic to the T.
But the way I'm getting at it, that you're saying that Hades is the best sidekick.
Not the best, it's my favorite.
It's kind of like saying Scar is the best sidekick, because
wouldn't he be?
He's not a sidekick!
He has appeared in 2 different movies. He appeared in Hercules. I can say he's the best sidekick because he appeared in Hercules.
So is that was why you wanted to bring him into Animate? It was just because you're like, I gotta find a way to bring Hades in here. He's my boo. Let's bring him in.
That's exactly why.
Okay. Okay, so would you say that Dory is a sidekick to Marlin? Because Dory brings out the best in Marlin. Dory calms him down when he is stressed and
What, really? Just keep swimming right into the mouth of an undersea creature. You want to call that stress-free?
which you gotta admit was the best part in that movie.
You know, if they made an entire movie off of Hades' sass, which was practically Hercules in the first place, let's be real, like, that would be amazing.
Exactly. So they can make one.
They can,
But nobody cares about Hades.
You know, I think this discussion's getting a little too heated.
So should we say goodbye?
And you're trying to convince people that you're right, and there is no right and wrong in opinion questions, and you're frankly starting to upset me a little bit. So, you know,
Do you need a safe place?
this is everything that we have for you this week in Animate. I would like to, I guess, thank Molly for being on the show.
Thanks for letting me win.
You didn't win! There is no winning in this discussion. See you next week.
Thanks, guys. Now, let's go to the next installment of Mighty Morphin Madness with Zach Brown.
Welcome to another episode of Mighty Morphin Madness with me, your host, Zach Brown, where we get to talk about everybody's favorite teenagers with attitude, the Power Rangers.
What is that odious stench? Smells like teenagers.
In this episode, I'm going to share my top 5 Megazords. The Power Ranger Megazords are the giant robot sidekicks that help them defeat the monsters that are sent to destroy the city. Every single season of Power Rangers has had Megazords, so there are many that can't make this top 5 list. Let's start with number 5, the Galaxy Megazord, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. The Galaxy Megazord was created with a combination of the 5 Galactabeasts, which are the Galaxy Protectors, and when formed, they become the Galaxy Megazord, which is the Ranger's main Zord for the season. I like this Megazord because each individual Zord is like an animal, like the original series, and one of the Zord's main weapons is the Green Ranger's Galactabeast, which is a condor, and it's used like a crossbow, which is really cool. Number 4, the Lightspeed Megazord, Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Unlike the seasons before, most Zords were either animals or just robots. But with the Lightspeed Megazord, the components of the Zord came from futuristic safety vehicles like a fire truck and ambulance. This created a cool looking Megazord with a bunch of different configurations to help defeat evil and save lives. Number 3, Wild Force Megazord, Power Rangers Wild Force. The Wild Force Megazord followed the traditional form of the individual Zords being animals, but what separates this Megazord from the pack is throughout the series the Rangers got many new Zords, and the Wild Force Megazord had a total of 9 different modes. Some of these forms included the Sword and Shield from the Elephant Zord, or even the Wild Force Megazord Clutcher mode with the Deer Wild Zord, and it's used its antlers to grab and capture the monster. This was really cool to me because of the different forms made for an exciting episode each and every time. Number 2, the Dragon Zord, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The Dragon Zord might not be considered a Megazord because it was primarily used as a standalone Zord, but he is one of my personal favorites. The Dragon Zord was the Green Ranger Zord in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This Zord looks like it was taken straight out of a Godzilla movie, which is why it's one of my favorites. The Zord's main weapons are its tail, in which it's used as a spinning drill, and its rockets, which come out of its fingers, which is pretty cool. On top of all that, it was also summoned by the Green Ranger's dagger, which acted as a flute, which is an awesome way to call a Zord. And last but not least, number 1, the Dino Megazord, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Who doesn't like a classic? The Dino Megazord introduced the United States to the Megazord concept. And still today, this Megazord is my personal favorite because it is a classic. The whole design of the Zord was pretty cool back in the day. My favorite part of this Zord is the Mastodon shield because of its detail. This Zord will forever be known as the original Megazord. This has been Zach Brown with the top 5 Megazords. Now back to Nerd Central.
Thanks, Zach. We're going to take a short break, but stay tuned as we will tell you the 5 films you should not watch on Valentine's Day, and we will battle what the best love story and film is. Stay with us. Welcome back to Nerd Central. We are going straight to my review of my favorite love story, WALL-E. WALL-E is set in the year 2805. Earth has become a garbage-filled wasteland because a mega corporation called By and Large took over Earth's economy. This caused mass consumerism and with that, massive amounts of waste. To deal with the problem, humans created WALL-E robots to compress and clean the trash while the human population set off into space on starliners to live. The cleanup operation was projected to take 5 years, however, Earth was deemed too toxic for humans to inhabit. All of the robots and incinerators were shut down with the exception of WALL-E, who continues the mission of cleaning the trash. One day, while building trash towers, WALL-E witnesses a ship land, and a sleek, feminine robot named Eve arrives. WALL-E is love-struck, but Eve is set on her mission to find a source of life on Earth. Eve eventually finds a plant and is taken back to the main starliner, but not without WALL-E. When they arrive, the autopilot computer, acting on hastily given instructions sent many centuries before, tries to prevent the people of Earth from returning by stealing the plant. But WALL-E, Eve, and the ship's captain are just not having it. From there, they go on a massive adventure as they try to save the humans and return them back to Earth, while WALL-E and Eve fall in love in the process. Now, this movie did some things really well. One thing that's really interesting is the first 40 minutes of the movie has no dialogue, but Pixar tells the story through visuals so well that it really isn't needed at all. The story purely relies on things like WALL-E's body and eye movement and the occasional robot sound. This is the part of the movie where the viewer really gets a sense of the state Earth is in, and understands WALL-E and his personality through his actions, like watching his prized possession, a copy of Hello Dolly. The viewer really develops feelings for WALL-E through aspects like that. Pixar did a great job of storytelling without words. Another interesting thing this movie does well is convey an environmental message. While it did seem kind of overdone, I respect Pixar for making that point. I think we as humans should be aware of what could happen if we are careless, and WALL-E brings the environmental issue to light in a way that isn't intruding, but it gives the viewer something to think about. This is not the focus of the movie, however. The focus is really on the relationship between WALL-E and Eve. The love story that develops between WALL-E and Eve is done perfectly. The chemistry between those robots and the way their love develops through the movie seems completely genuine. Their love is so cute but tragic at the same time, and that balance between cuteness and tragedy makes the movie really interesting. This movie is honestly one of my favorite love stories of all time, and I believe this movie is pretty much a masterpiece. The believability of Eve and WALL-E's love is truly touching, even bringing me to tears a couple of times. The animation is astounding and detailed, and the characters are so well developed. The script is unique, the music is beautiful. I'm going to have to give WALL-E an 8 out of 10. If you haven't seen it or haven't watched it recently, I would highly recommend doing so, especially if you are looking for a good Valentine's Day movie. This has been Mary Grace reviewing for Nerd Central. I stand by WALL-E as my favorite love story. I mean, how can you not love WALL-E and Eve? Now, let's talk about some movie news. The end of the bad video game movies may be near. Illumination, the animation studio behind the Minions franchise, The Lorax, and Sing, is in the early stages of producing a Super Mario film. The film will be co-produced by Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto. The Mario games have sold over 330 million units since its inception in 1983. Illumination has created a multi-billion-dollar studio that rivals that of Pixar. This announcement comes after Nintendo announced in 2015 that they were building Nintendo-themed attractions in the Universal parks. This is not the first time Mario has tried to make the leap to the big screen. In 1993, Disney released a live-action adaptation of the Super Mario Bros., but we don't talk about that one. Since then, Mario has only made one appearance in film, and it was in Wreck-It Ralph in 2012. No news on when the film will be released, but indications point to a 2020 release. Video game movies don't have a great track record at the box office, but with Tomb Raider and Ready Player One coming out this year, this could start us on a path of good video game movies. Here's hoping. Now we're going to take it to Keegan Cooper and Haley Southard for the top 5 films you should not watch on Valentine's Day.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Keegan and I'm joined by Haley. And here's our top 5 movies not to watch on Valentine's Day. Number 5. Human Centipede. Like most movies, it starts out with a car wreck. After getting a flat tire, 2 girls wander upon something they probably wish they hadn't. A demented surgeon with a crazy idea. Something you definitely won't want to watch on Valentine's Day. Number 4. Split. After being kidnapped, 3 girls discover a man with 23 different personalities.
I've never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body.
Kevin can change his body chemistry through his mind. He warns the girls that someone is coming for them, but it could be too late. He warns them that the beast is real and is coming for them. You don't want to watch something that freaky on Valentine's Day.
He's done awful things to people, and he'll do awful things to you.
Number 3. Jennifer's Body. That one girl every girl wants to be and every guy wants. But what you don't know is that she has a secret.
Well, this is random.
This isn't really your house, is it?
And her secret will kill you. She will light you on fire and watch you burn. No one is safe from Jennifer. Number 2. Get Out.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
What starts out as a normal drive to your in-laws' house turns into a crazy, scary adventure.
How bad can it be?
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this?
Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
Rose, the keys. Just get the keys.
I don't know where they are.
Rose?
Number 1. Sausage Party.
We've been chosen together.
It's because we belong together.
For the hot dogs and buns and all the other food at Shopwell's, they're about to learn that being chosen isn't all it's cracked up to be. Once you go outside those glass doors, your life changes forever.
Alive and looking at me with your little shoes and your arms and your legs.
Look at me. I ain't got no legs. You got legs.
What did he do to you?
You don't wanna know.
Thanks, you two. Word to the wise, don't watch Get Out and Split in the same night back to back. Your brain will not be the same. That's going to do it for this week's Nerd Central. Nerds Showdown is next. You can get caught up on all the previous episodes on the KNWt YouTube page, and also follow KNWt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and follow Nerd Central on Twitter at nerd_central_TV. The best love story in film will be decided after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to Nerd Showdown, the part of Nerd Central where we battle it out on a particular topic we have no business debating. I'm your host, Evan Van Zant, and with Valentine's Day just around the corner, we ask the question, what is the best love story in media? Keep in mind, our fighters will be diving deep into their respective choices, so this is your spoiler warning. This week we have an all Channel 8 News showdown. To my right, I have the producer of Channel 8 News, Jackie Harding. Jackie, what will you be defending?
I will be defending Titanic.
Splendid. And to my left, I have Channel 8 News crew member, Mitch Bomberger. Mitch, what will you be defending?
I will be defending The Office, Jim and Pam.
The rules are simple. Each competitor will have a 2-minute opening statement during which they must only talk about the good things in their media. In round 2, each competitor will have 90 seconds to cross-examine their opponent's media. If they do not comply with these rules in round 1 or 2, I have the right to stop the competitor and inform them that they have forfeited the rest of their time. For round 3, both competitors will have 60 seconds for a closing argument where they recap anything they may have said in the first 2 rounds and can also bring new facts to their argument. After that, yours truly will decide who walks away the victor based solely on the arguments made during the showdown. Now that that's out of the way, let's showdown! Jackie will begin with your argument. Your time starts now.
Okay, so in Titanic, starting from the beginning of the movie, they're, looking for the artifacts deep in the ocean. They found the Titanic. You see this little old lady, she's, will you stop? I am trying to talk. You see this little old lady, she sees her love for Jack. That's what she sees whenever she sees a Titanic. Moving on in the movie, you meet Jack. You see that he is a poor little old boy. I guess not old, but whatever. He won a ticket to the Titanic by playing poker. He wasn't even supposed to be on it. He met Rose just out of coincidence because, she was trying to jump off the side of the ship and commit suicide because she didn't want to marry her rich husband, or her rich fiance, I'm sorry. Well, the thing that you just see grow throughout the movie is their actual love for each other because of this ship. Without Titanic, these two would have never met. These two would have never fallen in love, would have never gone on these different adventures on the ship. Like, you see the parents hate him, you see everyone pretty much hate this poor boy because he's not as rich as everyone. But the real reason that they fall in love is because he's different. He's not the rich soul. She likes that the parents don't like him. That's something that most girls actually go for because they're like, why would I go for someone that, my mom or dad likes? Because then it's just, they're just gonna fall in love with them and it's just not gonna be any fun for me to go out and do all these different adventures. That's the same thing that Rose is thinking, just because you are making me lose my train of thought, Mitchell, because you are bad. Anyway, they fall in love. It's great. I love Titanic.
Good talk, Jackie. Good talk. Mitch, now it's your turn. You're going to talk about all of the benefits of The Office. Your time starts now.
All right, so we're going to talk about The Office because Jim and Pam, they are just the best love story on TV or movies just ever, because it started out really in season 2 where they really blossomed and became best friends. And then just like the little tiny stuff that just showed that they really loved each other, that they just knew that they couldn't be together because, she had a, fiance that she was with for 3 years. That they didn't get married. So, clearly they didn't really love each other. But, here we are. And then they eventually got together. But before they became lovers, a fancy word, I know, for a fancy show. But before they did that, they were just, on season 2, they were just little tiny things that made them fall in love. Like the teapot in the Christmas episode, where she would just where they didn't see each other for an entire episode because he was in the back in the annex, and then he would just call her phone and they would just have a little conversation with each other, and it would just be so sweet, and just little stuff they would just have little banters and make fun of Dwight, and just they'd really make fun of each other, and be like the cute little Jim and Pam relationship that we all are like, we really want to be like that in life, and yet no one will ever have that real relationship because it's a beautiful relationship that no one will ever have in real life.
Now we're going to begin our cross-examination period. Jackie, time to tear down the office. You think you could do it?
I hope so.
Well, your time starts now.
Okay, so Jim and Pam may have met in the office, but, you know, wasn't love at first sight. That's the best kind of love. Let me just point that out there. What? No, okay.
Go ahead.
You know, of course, Jim and Pam fell in love. Neither of them said it because she was with Roy for 3 years, whom she didn't want to be with. I get that. That's kind of like Rose and this rich guy, but also like Pam could have left. Rose was like, this guy has money and my family needs money. So that's more like good option. I would go for money. So Pam could have left him for Jim. They could have been dating this whole season, this whole show, all 9 seasons, all 9 years, whatever. But they weren't. And then Jim went with Karen. Who is Karen? No. And then he went back to Pam because he kissed her. And she's all like, I can't do this. Who does that? Nobody. That is not love. That may be like, you know, stuff people want in their life. That is not something people actually do. Everything around them is set up actually for them to fall in love. There's Dwight and Angela, they get paired. Michael and everyone, they get paired.
Jackie, you make some excellent points, but now it's Mitch's turn. Mitch, what do you have to say?
Gladly. Okay, so first off, Rose came from a rich family. She was marrying a rich guy because, I mean, come on, did you not see the outfit she was wearing when she was getting on the Titanic? She came from a rich family. Second off, let's see, you said that she was already engaged to a guy that she didn't like, and she fell in love with a guy that she, first off, didn't really like that much, and then she eventually fell in love, and then he died. Guess what? That's just every Nicholas Sparks movie, ever. Yeah, think about that for a second. They meet each other, she's with someone or he's with someone. They first meet each other, they don't like each other, then they get to know each other, they like each other, one dies, tragic, blobbity blobbity blue, and then, you know, Nicholas Sparks all over again. And first off, there was plenty of room on that door.
Now it's time for our closing statements. Jackie, you have 60 seconds beginning now.
Let me just talk about that door real quick. One, like, actually, it could have been long enough to hold 2 people. You're correct. Like, that's fine.
I usually am.
But you gotta think, she probably weighed 120 to 140. He's probably around 150. That door is going down either way. So it was up to Jack, because he loved her that much, to save Rose so she could stay on the door. He held on for as long as he could.
All right, Mitch, here's your wrap-up session. 60 seconds starting now.
All right, first off, you spent your entire minute defending your movie because you know it needs defense. Because you know it's nowhere near as good as the love of Jim and Pam. Because you know Jim and Pam, everyone knows, this is the media department, everyone knows Jim and Pam and their love story, and everyone knows it's the best. Because everyone's just like, everyone makes fun of Jack and Rose because, come on.
That, I think, is going to be more than enough for this week's showdown. Mitch, while I feel like you finished strong, I disagree with your general argument and your treatment of women in general, so I'm going to have to hand it to Jackie.
Yes!
Jackie, do you have any words?
In your face.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can head to Nerd Central's Twitter to show your support for this week's showdown. Also, check out Channel 8 News every Monday through Thursday, starting at 6:30 p.m. Weekend Sports Kickoff is coming up next. We'll see you next week on Nerd Central.
Thank you for watching this episode of Nerd Central. If you want to watch last week's first episode of 2018, you can click right here. To watch WSK's latest episode, click here. And if you like all of KNWT's content, click the subscribe button right over here. See you guys next week.